Okay. Um, why don't black people like baseball? 9 times out of 10, if you know a black person, um, if you work with a black person, there's about a 99% chance he doesn't watch baseball. He doesn't know anything about baseball. And there's lots of reasons why blacks don't like baseball. First of all, there's no superstars in baseball anymore. There's no household names in baseball anymore. There's no colorful personalities in baseball like there used to be. Guys like Darryl Strawberry, Reggie Jackson, um, guys like Dwight Gooden, Kirby Puckett. There's no colorful personalities to identify with, man. There's no black superstars like there was back in the 80s and 90s. Guys like Barry Bonds. So, you know, there's really no superstars in baseball to relate to if you're black. Another reason is baseball is relatively expensive. Like if you bats are like $200 these days. If you're trying to buy a good glove is like $60. Games like basketball, all you need is a basketball. You can go to Kmart, Walmart, $8, boom, you got a basketball. You're ready to go. The goals are already provided with, they're already provided at the parks, at the gym. So all you have to play basketball, games like football, you can buy a little Nerf football at Walmart. They're like $8, $7. So baseball is relatively expensive. To sign up for baseball as a kid, you need to. Pretty expensive too. What is it like $90 to play little league baseball? You know, basketball. You really don't need to be a part of a league to enjoy it. You can play. You can play with your homeboys. You can gather them up. You can play 1-on-1. You can play 5-on-5, 3-on-3. Baseball, you can't really do that. Uh, another reason why, another reason is because networks, the big networks, don't really talk about baseball anymore, man. Networks like ESPN, Fox Sports, they say nothing about baseball. Um, all ESPN does is talk about LeBron James. What toilet paper LeBron James uses, what he had for lunch. Um, you know, Kevin Durant. What deodorant he uses. Uh, that's all. That's all. ESPN talks about baseball or basketball and football. Talks about Tom Brady 24/7, Aaron Rodgers. They don't say nothing about baseball. But back in the 80s and 90s, you know, ESPN had shows like Baseball Tonight, Baseball Magazine, Sports Center talked about baseball a lot back in the 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s. Sports Center, they don't mention baseball at all. So uh, that's another reason. Another reason is baseball, man, is pretty hard to play. Uh, you got to hit a little white ball with a skinny round bat. You know, even Ted Williams said baseball is one of the hardest games to play in it for sports. You got to have good eye-hand coordination to play baseball. You have to have a lot of patience to play baseball. With basketball is relatively pretty easy to play. You know, same thing with football. Hell, I can get a guy off the streets to shoot a 3 pointer. You know, to dribble a basketball. You know, basketball, football, they're not that hard. You know, you see the guy, you tackle the guy. That's pretty much That's pretty much what football is about. You know. Uh, and another reason is baseball. It just isn't popular anymore, man. Uh, just like in the '80s and '90s, uh, baseball was pretty much the biggest sport in America back in the '80s, '70s, '50s, and baseball is just uh, they just don't. How can I say this? They just don't. They don't market their stars like they did in the '80s. Back in the '80s, everybody knew who Pete Rose was. Those guys were household names. Reggie Jackson. Uh, you can go back even further, man. Like Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays. Those guys were household names. Everybody knew who Willie Mays was back in the day. Pete Rose, Reggie Jackson. Those guys were like household names. Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire. These days, there's no superstars in baseball, man. Who are the superstars in baseball? Bryce Harper. He's not really a superstar. He kind of has a quiet personality. Guys like Mike Trout. Those guys ain't really superstars. If you go to work, there's about a 100% chance nobody at work knows who Mike Trout is or who Bryce Harper is. But but back in the day, everybody knew who Darryl Strawberry was. Everybody knew who Jose Canseco was because those guys were household names. And baseball just isn't popular anymore, man. It's boring. Uh, Another reason black people don't watch baseball is the broadcasters are boring, man. Guys like Joe Buck, man, the way he talks, he'll put you to sleep, man. Joe Buck, uh, you know, um, John Smoltz, those guys like that, man, they'll put you to sleep. Their personalities are not really big. Uh, Black people, they identify with broadcasters that put a lot of emotion in their craft, in their voices. Blacks identify with explosive personalities, and there's really no explosive personalities broadcasting anymore. The days of the John Drysdales, the uh, you know, so there's really no broadcasters with explosive personalities.